I'm back. I decided to turn it this way because obviously I'm confusing everybody. If you're catching the replay, I'm back. Just bear with it so everybody comes back. Do you know how difficult it is to be a creator? It's almost like in order to be a creator, you need to go to creator school. Like there needs to be like a college to go. You need to be in creator school. Like you need a bachelor's. You know what I'm saying? Because like the thing is with being a creator is, first of all, if you're a young kid, you catch on pretty quickly, right? Because all your friends are, you know, like doing social media and stuff. But when you're 55 years old and just starting like a YouTube in your 50s, and you're like, what? And then all of a sudden they change things on you and they're like, hey, you can go vertical and you can go horizontal at the same time. And you're like 55 years old and you're trying to figure out how to go vertical and horizontal at the same time. It's like problems. It's like I need a couple of BFFs that are really technically inclined that can help me. But instead, there's this 55 senior citizen out here floating around trying to figure out how to do social media. And for the people that stick with me, God bless you. God bless you. Because we are learning together. And this crazy world that we're in, we are learning together how to do things. And a lot of times, because I don't know how to do things, it hurts me as a creator. Right? It hurts me because people are like, you know, like if my live gets, what happened was Chris called and my live got cut off because Chris called. Why does that happen? You know, like why does that happen? If I go live on StreamYard, that doesn't happen. But if I go live from directly YouTube and someone calls me, it jacks up my whole live. And then the fact that I don't have Wi-Fi at the farm, so when I try to go live in my farm, okay, I'm gonna stop complaining. It's hard being a creator. Okay, back to the story. Sorry. People that watch me on TV don't like me to be in this angle. But girlfriend, if y'all know how to fix it, you're more than welcome to call me and go, hey, let me help you because you sure don't know what you're doing. Hey, bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on. Because I could use some help. I've been thrown to the wolves. And I love it when people go, hey, why don't you message, I don't know, let's just say, message Brooke and Jason and ask them how to do it. Okay, have y'all tried to message them? Just because I'm a creator doesn't mean I get to the top of the line, okay? I'm a peon. I'm just out here, okay? I'm trying. But I can't just call big creators because they're so busy. They don't have time to fool with small channels. They're trying to move forward themselves. They ain't got time to babysit. So, and let me tell you something. There is help out there. There's a local person right here in Coleman that can help me. But guess what? I'll just tell you. You know how much it costs me? You know, your little intro video when you do a YouTube video? Do you know how much that one little intro costs me? $550. Okay? So, like, when you say, oh, cost so-and-so, you don't understand there's a price tag involved. Okay? And over here at Snead's Farmhouse, we're just trying to pay for chicken feed and, goat feed and rabbit feed and all this stuff. I ain't got $550 laying around just to pay somebody to ask them how to go live, vertical, and horizontal. So, hey, we doing our best. we doing our best around here. Okay, on to the story. So, with separating my chickens comes with hard decisions. And I made the hard decision to let go of my pigeons. And I'll tell you why. First of all, you know how, like, say you're scrolling through the internet and all of a sudden this cute dog pops up and you're like, oh my gosh, I have got to have one of those dogs. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, you go about minding your own business and then you go back on social media and that dadgum dog pops back up and you're like, is this meant to be? Is this a sign that I need to get this dog? You know what I'm talking about? Like, if you're an animal person, you're kind of like that. And there was this, I'm going to get ready. This rosacea is on fire today. There was this girl that lived in Argo, which is about an hour from me, that was fighting cancer. And she had pigeons. And she reached out to me and she said, Judy, would you consider buying my chicken? She actually tried to sell me her iguana too. But she was like, I'm going through treatment. I need help with my pigeons. And I know that you take good care of your animals. And so what did I do? Well, I went out and bought that jail cell just for pigeons to help her out. And I thought, well, I'll add pigeons to my farm because she needs help. And I thought they were the most gorgeous pigeons. And so I bought the pigeons from her because she needed help. And so I really didn't know. It wasn't like I did my research to know exactly what I was getting myself into. It was just kind of a situation where, oh my gosh, this girl has cancer. She needs help. I know I'll figure it out. Like, I know enough people in pigeons to message, local friends here in Coleman and go, hey, I know you used to show pigeons. Am I feeding, what food do I feed them? And so forth. So people, here locally kind of help me go through the pigeon. And so, of course, you can't just have one. You got to keep, it's kind of like you just kept getting them. And she had a ton. And I helped her out and she helped me out because she needed help. She was in the middle of treatment. So basically what I'm trying to get at, it was not a very thought out decision. It was kind of like, this lady needs help and I'll help her. And so when I got the pigeons and I realized they multiply like wildfire, what they do is they lay 2 eggs and then they go broody, which means they hatch the eggs in 18 days. And before they're finished feeding their babies, they're already laying more eggs ready to have another set. It is like pigeons multiply like wildfire. And what ends up happening is, I'm going to tell you something. Animals have feelings, okay? They do. They desire to be a mom, just like a human being. The separation for the baby, just like human beings. They have feelings. The feeling of breeding, the male breeding, the male has that tendency. It's like they have feelings, to me, almost identical to a human being. That's how I look at it. And when a pigeon wants to be a mom, you'll go in there and steal their eggs, and then they get mad at you and they start hitting you with their wings. they'll attack you because they're like, dude, that's my babies. Get out of here. You know, you've heard of a mean, wet mother hen? Pigeons are like that. They want to be moms nonstop. They want to raise babies like back to back. And so because of that, you know, you feel guilty. You go in there and you're like, oh God, I got to steal her eggs. She's fixing to beat me up. And you're like, this is for your own good. You know, you kind of, you do that with your pigeons. So basically I decided that I don't think I'm a very good pigeon mom. They multiply, you know, I don't like trying to find homes and knowing if they're good homes or not. I just don't enjoy it. I don't. And so I decided to let go of the pigeons to open up a coop for the chickens to breed. Well, Chirps, which is one of my rescue ducks. Most of my ducks were rescued. Okay, most of them are. This is what's happening. Anytime there's two males in the equation, whether it be roosters, bulls, bucks, whatever, there is competition. They're fighting to win the love of all the girls. And so two of the ducks that I rescued are males. Well, when you have a farm, you have to have so many girls to a boy. Like, for example, chickens, okay? You can't just have a pair of chickens, a male, a rooster, and a hen in a coop by themselves. And the reason is because that girl is going to be tortured. Okay? He's going to overbreed her. And it's going to get to the point where he overbreeds her and she's going to lose all her back feathers, her saddle feathers. They're going to be gone. And he will get on her and she will bleed. Like, because his feet are on her back to breed her and his claws will get in her. It's awful. So when you have animals, you have to keep in mind that technically you want about 8 hens to 1 rooster, because you don't want overbreeding to happen. They do kind of find their favorites and you have to be careful, but for the most part, you have to have enough hens to go with the rooster. It's the same thing with every single breed of animal. With ducks, I have 2 males and I basically have 3 females that run around. 2 males and 3 females are not working out, okay? And ducks breed aggressively like a rooster. I mean, they breed in water, and what will happen is Midnight will get on Dolly, let's just say, and is breeding her in the water, and then all of a sudden Daffy, which is my other drake, my other male duck, gets mad because he's breeding her in the water, and then and poor Dolly's over there drowning, and the 2 boys are trying to fight and both breed her. It's not working. It's not. Well, I have 3 ducks right now that live in a run that are not free ranged. The reason they're not free ranged is because 2 of them are jumbo pecans and 1 of them is Quacky Jackie with 1 leg that can't swim. Okay, so I can't free range her. For the past 4 years, every single day, and you know this, I put it in videos, Chirps does not walk. I have to go in the coop, pick her up. I have to put her in the swimming pool, let her swim. Now, she can swim. She loves her swimming pool. She can't get out of the pool by herself. I have to pick her up, put her by the food and water so that she can sit all day long. And we've done this for 4 years. And there was a time where I had a vet that came out here to my farm, and he did x-rays of her legs, and he was like, I just think she has, some severe arthritis. And, I said, well, she has no quality of life. And he did not recommend putting her down. So for the past 4 years, I have done this every single day. And I don't mind doing it. I don't. But what's happening is now I have 2 of those ducks. Now Gigi has started having problems. She can't walk. So now I went from 1 duck picking her up doing everything to now I have 2 ducks that I'm picking up and doing everything. And we're fixed to have a 3rd one because my 3rd one is Wallace. Wallace was ran over by a car. Her foot is already janked up and her bill is janked up because of running over a car. I've had Wallace probably 2 or 3 years, but her walking is starting to struggle. So now I have 3 ducks that I'm having to manually pick up, manually put by food, manually put in the pool, and it's becoming very difficult for me. On top of that, all my ducks sleep in the same coop at night. Well, because those ducks sit, what's happening? I have 2 males in there, and they're having their way with my rescue ducks. And I've gone in there in the morning, and there is blood everywhere from one of the males breeding Gigi. There's blood everywhere from him being on her back, and she can't get away. And I'm like, this is not working. This is not working at all. So I'm like, what am I going to do? And this is the part about having a farm that's difficult. Is because you have to make difficult decisions. So the decision I have made first, the first decision is my rescue ducks come first. They can't defend themselves. I have to protect them. Therefore, tonight, my neighbor is going to take Midnight, Daffy, Dolly, and Hollywood. Hollywood's my white duck with the big puffy head. Those are the 4 ducks that free range every day. They're going to my neighbors tonight forever. So that's going to leave me with 4 ducks. And all 4 ducks are disabled ducks. And I want to explain to you what's happening. I've rescued ducks for many, 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 many years. Okay? This is what's happening. 3 of those ducks are jumbo pekins. If you've been following me for a while, you know what a jumbo pekin is. But if you have not been following me for a while, you may not know. And this is Judy's theory. I feel like God puts certain animals on this earth for us to eat. I'll give you an example. There are chickens called meat chickens. They live 6 weeks, and that's it. Because they get massive. And you have to process them by 6 weeks, because if you don't, they will have a heart attack and die. They're not one of these chickens that you see at Snead's farmhouse that's running around that's 8 years old. The chickens that I have are more domesticated chickens, okay? They're more like chickens that you breed for pets. They're not like my chickens are not chickens that you're going to process and put in the crock pot. Could you do that? Yes. But like a Polish chicken, my favorite chicken, they're very lean. So they're not a chicken that you're going to raise to eat. You're going to raise them to sell their chicks for people that love Polish just like you. Now, let's go to ducks. A jumbo Pekin duck is a duck that is bred for food. It's a duck that doesn't live too terribly long because they get big breasted. When you find a delicacy of a duck, usually at a Chinese restaurant, they serve duck. That is a jumbo Pekin. That is what they serve. Okay? But what happens is a jumbo Pekin, because they get big so fast, they start having leg and feet injuries because they get massive. If you saw one of mine, they're big breasted. They almost look like there's something wrong with them because they have this big breast and these little bitty short legs. So then what happens, Penny Lane was a jumbo Pekin. Gigi, Wallace, Howard. I've had several Pekins, and every single one of them do the exact same thing. They're the friendliest ducks ever. But what happens is their longevity of life is about 2 to 3 years if you don't process them. Well, usually by the second year, you start seeing, oh Lord, they're starting to hobble. Oh Lord, you can see the swelling in their legs or joints. You can see it. And it's not good. So here I am. I have 3 jumbo Pekins. Yeah, 3 jumbo Pekins right now. And 2 of them basically can't hardly walk. Well, one of them can't walk. One is barely walking. So is that at this point, you're like, what do I do? Do I leave them in a run and just give them, I'm going to have to do everything for them, which I have. Chirps is 4 years old. She's a jumbo Pekin, and she's 4 years old. And she came to me because what happens is Tractor Supply, I'm going to throw them under the bus. They have chick days. And during chick days, they sell ducks and they sell chicks. And what happens is people walk into Tractor Supply and there's these cute little ducks running everywhere. And there's these cute little chicks running everywhere. And let's get some chicks. Those ducks will let them swim in the bathtub. And you do that. And then what happens is they're like me, how I was with pigeons. They don't really understand what happens. And what happens is they start having injuries. Well, when people get them and not realize what happens, that they're bred for food. They're not bred for staying in your backyard. They go dump them off at a local lake because they're like, oh, they'll have a better life if they'll have this lake, and my backyard is just a little bitty blue swimming pool. So they'll have a much better life at this lake, and they dump them off. And then what happens is those jumbo pecans start having leg and feet injuries. And then what happens is the drakes, the boy ducks, breed them left and right because they're sitting all the time. And then people that go walk the park go, oh, this poor duck, she can't walk. And then they call a rescue. Hey, will you please take this duck? She's not walking right. And you take them in, and then this is what happens. I've learned a lot about farming over the past 6 years. So now I'm sitting here going, okay, now it wasn't too bad when it was just chirps, but now I'm fixing to have 3 of them. And I'm like, is that the life for them to live, just to lay around all day? And I don't know. So my life has been difficult. My health has been difficult the past couple of, I'd say 6 months, because I've had a lot of health issues that have led me to the hospital, that has led me to having surgeries and so forth. And me having 3 ducks that's disabled like that, I don't know if I can do it. And so I'm faced with a lot. And so I'm like, what do I need to do? And just like with anything, when you make hard decisions like trying to rehome an animal, or should I take this to the vet and talk about putting it down, you have guilt. If you've ever put a dog down or a cat down, you have guilt. Yeah. Am I giving up on them? You know, you have all the natural grieving processes you go through from losing an animal, or making a hard decision about, do I put them to sleep? You know, they can't hold their urine anymore. They're pooping all over themselves, but this is my baby and I don't want to put him down. And you deal with, you know, put maybe your dog in diapers, and you're like, this dog has no quality of life. And so there's a lot of guilt that comes with making hard decisions about animals that are in the shape that they're in. And I'm sitting here going, okay, I did chirps for 4 years. I told you in the beginning of this conversation that the longevity of a jumbo pekin is really 2 to 3 years, 1 to 3 years. Well, I've done chirps for 4 years, and she was a grown adult when I got her. So for chirps to be like, but she's lived as long as she's lived because Judy, every single day, goes and gets her out of the coop, puts her in the pool, lets her swim, gets her out of the pool, puts her by the food, makes sure she has water, she gives her treats, all these things. But this week, I've decided that it seems like when I watch Gigi walk, it seems so painful. She's got to be in pain. Chirps, she might be in pain when she tries to walk, but she sits all the time. So I don't think Chirps is necessarily in pain. Gigi is in pain. Wallace is walking around free ranging. So she's not, I don't think she's comfortable, but I don't think she's in as much pain as Gigi. But this is just going to get worse and worse and worse. So I am going to go. I've already made my mind up. I'm like, what do I need to do with my farm? What do I need to do? What does God want me to do with my farm? Or the last thing, when people come visit your farm and they see a sick animal or they see an animal struggling walking, the farmer looks like, I don't take care of my animals. I can't believe she's letting that duck walk around like that. God, that was awful to sit and watch that duck trying to walk. It's not good. And you get a lot of judgment. So my plan, first of all, Monday, I don't guess you call it surgery. I guess it is kind of surgery. I'm getting my tube taken out of my ear. So I can't go to the vet Monday. But my plan is to go sit down and have a heart-to-heart with the vet. Because this is another thing I worry about. If he was to put these jumbo pecans down, Quacky Jackie's my only duck. Quacky Jackie can't free range. She has one leg. She can't swim. So I'm thinking in my head, I don't want her to feel like I've taken all her friends away. Ducks have feelings. I'm going to tell you something. Ducks know when they're around ducks. Because this is what happens. Is when I call all those, those ducks are trained. All I got to say is, come on, let's go brush your teeth. And they go straight. I could walk out there right this minute and say, come on, let's go brush your teeth. And every one of those ducks would go in the house. They're trained. When the ducks come in with Quacky Jackie and Chirps, they all start quacking. It's like they're excited to be around each other. So I don't know. I don't know what Quacky Jackie will be like if she's the only duck. But she's not leaving my farm because no one will take care of her the way I do. I don't think. I just... So I'm going to ask the vet about her staying by herself. Am I causing grief because there's no other ducks? But what if we do put those ducks down and I keep Quacky Jackie, would she be happy living with chickens? I don't know the answer to that. So, Judy, the first of next week after my procedure, maybe like Tuesday, I'm going to go to the vet and have a hard conversation. Because I don't think physically me trying to do 3 ducks, picking them up every day, I don't know. I could do it if I needed to, but it's just that when I get down and sick, or I have to have surgery, or something happens to me, it's like, Shayna's like, why are you doing this every day? And I'm like, because I don't want to treat them different just because they're disabled. Like, but I know in my heart that I've given these ducks a really good life. But I don't know. He may tell me, no, we shouldn't put them down. He may say that. And if he says that, then I'll keep on keeping on. But I know Chirps has no life. All she does is sit. And I know that Gigi is in pain. And Gigi will get where she doesn't walk. I can already see it. and Wallace is coming right behind them. Not fun. Part of being farmer. And the ducks, the 4 ducks that are going to my neighbors, they're leaving tonight. So at least the males are not hurting my rescues. I'm like, they got to go now. They're good. They'll find a good home. I know my neighbor will take great care of them. She already has a farm, and I'm like, I could, go see them if I wanted to or check on them. But I can't have my rescues injured. And I don't know what goes on in that coop when I'm not there. But I know I have gone there in the morning and it's a bloody mess and it's not good. And that's not going to happen at my farm. So I've made hard decisions. Oh gosh, I thought this was... I don't know if this is eyeliner or lip liner. No, it's eyeliner. I bought it. I don't even know what I bought. So anyway, that's happening this week. So there's some hard things happening, but it's part of having a farm. And in my last 2 videos, people feel so sorry for Dee Dee. They're like, I feel so sorry for Trace. He looks lonely. I feel so sorry for Dee Dee. I get what you're saying. I do. I totally get what you're saying. Imagine being me and seeing it every day, all day long. Dee Dee is better, by the way. She ain't mooing no more. She's like getting over it. And Trace is not crying for her anymore. But part of having a farm is there has to be, there, just like human beings. Like my daughter-in-law right now. She's on countdown. She has to go back to work. And guess what? That baby's going to have to go to daycare. And guess what? She's going to be really... I said, you're going to... Listen, when you take your baby to daycare for the first time and have to go to work, it is absolutely horrible. Horrible. I'll never forget what that day was like. I cried every day for like 3 weeks until I got used to being away from Corbin and me going to work and my kid being in daycare. It's awful. But animals go through the exact same thing that humans go through. Hang on. That's a little dark. I don't normally do that. I've been trying to play with my makeup some. They have to go through it. It's part of it. And it's not good, but it's reality. You have to, I mean, at some point your kids grow up and have to move out of the house. And when you get empty nest and all your kids have left the house and you are sitting there going, oh my God, I got to live with my husband by myself the rest of my life. Where's my kids? It is so depressing. It is awful. It is an adjustment period. It's almost like you as a mom are like, I just want my kids to come to my house on the weekends and spend the night. It was like you would do exactly what Dee Dee, you call out. Because when you get empty nest, it is like, oh my God, I'll never forget it. Fanson, when he went off to college, I had just moved to Stapleton. I just got married, and my son went off to college all at the same time. And when I tell you I was hit by a triple whammy, it was like moving somewhere that I did not know a soul, to kids leaving the home, and I no longer was packing lunches and picking up from school and dealing with homework and projects. It was different. So I can only imagine how Dee Dee feels. I will tell you that animals get over it a lot quicker than human beings. I still don't think I'm over it. Vanson will be 28 this year, and I don't think I'm over it. I'm like, I was divorced, and so I had my kids every other weekend, and I say this all the time. I'm like, I so wish I could force my kids to come to my house every other weekend. But like what happens is your kids grow up and they get their own lives and they get a job and they get a house payment and then they get a wife or a husband and then they have their own lives and mom is kind of just forgotten about. You know what I'm saying? It's like humans, the separation of humans and babies seem, from my experience, takes longer to get over than, like, Dee Dee's already over it. Dee Dee's over it. Keep in mind that my videos, I have been Miss Video Editing Queen. And I have I think I have 4 videos that have already been done. So when they post, you're going to see, it was 4 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. I don't normally have time to do that, but I've had a lot of time on my hands. So I've been editing. I've been doing a lot of recording and a lot of editing. So somebody that double dips, they said, I thought Trace was separated. I'm like, he is, but you just saw a video that I had edited a month ago. So it's not totally current. So I have some hard decisions to make when it comes to my farm. And we'll see what my vet says and what he recommends and what would be good for these. I don't want any of these animals to suffer. And I know that Gigi is suffering. I know that. So I know that's not good. I don't think Chirps is suffering, but Gigi is suffering. But Chirps did suffer in the beginning until she got where she couldn't move her feet at all. So a lot of hard decisions to make in the farm. Thank y'all for joining me. I am fixing to, we had this butcher shop. It's called Butcher's. I think it's called Butcher's. But they have a food truck. And I haven't had the food truck in a long time. And I thought, I think today I will go to the food truck and get some late lunch. And then I've been working on my summer reading program today. So that's what I think I'm going to do today. It's freezing cold here in Alabama. I do want to say that I know a lot of y'all that follow me follow other farms. And I saw that Lester has cancer. And it's the same cancer that I have and that I've been dealing with for the past 6 months. And I reached out to him. And his seems a lot worse than mine because mine did not spread. Not to say that his is spread because he doesn't know, but I never really got referred to an oncologist, so I know that his must be a different stage than mine. I was able to have surgery and my melanoma was then gone and cancer free. But I will tell you that what they've told me is once you have melanoma, the chances of you getting it again is very high. And that's exactly what happened to me. On my first 3-month checkup, guess what? You have it again. And I'm pretty sure I have it again because there's 3 more spots that have come up. And I go the 1st of February for my 6-month checkup. So, the good thing is, I'm staying with the doctor. So between Lester and I, this is your wake-up call to go to the skin doctor. A lot of times, people forget to go to the skin doctor. They remember to go get their annual. They remember to go get their mammogram or their prostate check. They remember that, but they forget to go to the skin doctor. And melanoma can kill you just like prostate cancer or something else. So be praying for Lester. And I pray that I remember what I felt like the day that I got diagnosed. It's a scary feeling. You know, when you get hit with the word cancer and you got to go to an oncologist and you have to have surgery or you may have to have treatment, it feels scary. It does. So as a content creator to a content creator, I am praying for the best for him, and I hope that you guys will pray for him too, because he, I'm sure, is going through a lot. Love you guys. Thanks for joining me. I'll figure out this, how to go live vertical and horizontal eventually. But thanks for joining me, and I will keep you updated about the ducks, and it'll probably be Tuesday when I go to the vet. So, and be thinking about me Monday. I go to the ENT at 11:30 to have this tube taken up. Just pray to God that I don't end up in the hospital like last time. And Shane is going to go with me. So, I should be in good hands. Bye, y'all. Love y'all.